Hey, who here likes fishing? If you do, you're gonna love this video.
Something for grown men to do.
You'll also love it if you like learning cool new stuff. So it's a win-win, really. Stay tuned as we talk about 10 of the most surprising fishing methods. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to The Supreme, and click the notification bell for more lit content. Let's get rolling. Dry fish. How do you fish during dry season? If the river is all dried up, you can't exactly go fishing, can you? Well, yeah, you can fish with pretty cool and surprising methods, but you have to be prepared to get dirty. In dry seasons, a lot of fish live in water pockets under the ground. Secret holes can yield catfish. You just have to know where to dig. I found an amazing video from Z Fishing, which has had over 36 million views, and it shows dedicated anglers lifting up dry soil, then sifting through mud, and eventually coming across half-alive fish. It looks like hard work, but when you find a fish, it's yours. In some way, that is much easier than regular fishing. Poison fishing. Poison fishing is kinda as crazy as it sounds. It is a historic way of catching fish that's still used by some tribal communities today, especially in Africa. The practice has been forbidden for obvious ecological and safety reasons, but plenty of people still use the method as an easy but dangerous way to catch fish. Poison plants or roots are ground up in small buckets of water, which is then sprinkled into rivers or the shallow waters of lakes. There are two different types of poison that can be used to catch fish: saponins and rotenones. Saponins work their way into a fish's bloodstream through their gills and work to temporarily disable the animal. Rotenones deplete the amount of oxygen in the water and can be deadly to fish. Either way, fish are incapacitated and are easy to catch by hand. The practice of poison fishing can be dangerous for humans too. If the wrong plants are used, people can end up using toxins that are harmful to us if we eat them. In the Philippines, people have been noted to use cyanide for poison fishing, which is one of the most poisonous substances on Earth. Coke and Mentos. What? You can fish using a bottle of Coca-Cola and a pack of Mentos? I've officially heard it all. You know what happens when you mix soda and Mentos, right? Boom! Let's take a step back. You may have heard of noodling, but if you haven't, it's a method of fishing near riverbanks by digging a hole until you reach water and shoving your hand in the hopes of catching a catfish. The success rate is pretty low and generally means people who choose this method end up spending most of their day with their hands in a cold, wet hole. This is where the Mentos and Coke comes in. The theory seems to be if you throw Mentos into the hole, then top it up with Coke, the fish will just come. Check it out. The reason this seems to be a successful fishing practice is because the chemical reaction of the Mentos and soda creates a lot of carbon dioxide. This means the fish are starved of oxygen and are forced from the water to find some. When Mentos heard of this fishing method, they made a statement to say, "This is not a practice of our company or our brands would condone." Fair. Dolphin fishing. One of the most surprising things I've learned about fishing while researching this video is that dolphins have started using tools to fish. I repeat, dolphins are using tools. This is intelligence evolving right before our eyes. Dolphins started engaging in a practice called conching in Shark Bay in Western Australia. Behavioral ecologists noticed that dolphins began using big shells to trap fish. Interestingly, the behavior has been noted in independent schools of dolphins who don't mix, suggesting they independently learned to fish. While this is the first instance of dolphins using tools to catch fish, they also have a tactic of creating mud nets to catch food. I put my money on dolphins becoming the next rulers of planet Earth. Dynamite fishing. This sounds intense. Dynamite fishing, also called blast fishing, is illegal in most places because it's dangerous and destructive to surroundings. It's actually thought that blast fishing is one of the biggest threats to coral reefs, which struggle to recover. Dynamite fishing predominantly takes place in Indonesia and the Philippines, but it's also common in northern Tanzania and on a smaller scale in the United States by individual hobby fishermen. This is what a major instance of dynamite fishing looks like, and this is what a small-scale blast fish looks like. The scale is different, but ultimately the method works by sending underwater shock waves, which causes a fish's bladder to burst. Some fish float to the surface of the water, making them easy to catch, but most sink to the bottom of the water. Do not try this at home. Magnet fishing. Some people fish using magnets. Although it doesn't have anything to do with catching actual fish, magnet fishing has become a popular practice with treasure hunters looking to locate lost pieces of metal, hopefully with some value. The practice has become super popular and people have started uploading the hauls on YouTube, with some videos nearing 1 million views. While magnet fishing sounds kinda cool, it also is pretty dangerous. Some people have found explosives or guns in the water, which is terrifying. Also, those who aren't experienced with working with strong magnets are at risk of falling in the water. Marshmallow fishing. Some people might just prefer to eat marshmallows than to use marshmallows to catch fish. But to each their own, right? Did you know that you can fish for trout using marshmallows? A lot of people use regular marshmallows to fish for trout, who apparently go nuts for the sugar. I read some fish forums where people were legit talking about making Rice Krispie treats as bait. Apparently, the practice is especially popular in the Northwest states of America, Alaska, and British Columbia in Canada. It seems that dyeing the marshmallows red works even better because they kinda look like salmon eggs. It isn't just marshmallows that trouts have developed a taste for. On fishing forums, anglers have also talked about using cheese and garlic. At what point is it crazy to be feeding fish stuff we might want to eat more than we want to eat fish? Kite fishing. Go fishing and fly a kite at the same time. Well, that is some next level stuff right there. People who kite fish cast long lines with bait on and then fly their kite over a large body of water. You can kite fish from the shoreline or on a boat. Basically anywhere you can get wind over water. Harnessing the power of the wind sounds like a pretty creative way to fish. The good thing about kite fishing is that the fisher will know when they've caught something, as the kite will immediately drop, signaling that they should reel it in. Kite fishing is great for people with mobility issues as it allows them to cast bait much further than they might have been able to with regular fishing. I kinda wanna go kite fishing right now. Otter fishing. Why would we do all the hard fishing work when we can employ otters to do it? When I say employ, I basically mean capture them and force them to do our bidding. Otter fishing is super popular in Bangladesh, but used to be a legitimate practice across many parts of the world. In Bangladesh villages, it's not uncommon for families and fishermen to have packs of captive otters, which they take out with them in order to catch live fish. Anglers will go out in small groups and release otters into bodies of water, along with a net. The otters are trained to return the fish to the nets and usually are able to catch between 11 and 26 pounds of fish. The only problem is that sometimes the hungry otters eat the fish for themselves. Bottle trap. You don't need fancy fishing equipment to make a good catch. Primitive fishing methods involve setting up a trap and just waiting for the fish to swim in it. These days, it's possible to recreate historic ways of fishing with empty soda bottles. All you need to do is make a hoop structure in a stream, make a hole in the plastic bottles, fill them with bait, add a hook to the end, and tie them with string to the hoop. After a few hours, you should have caught a number of juicy fish in your trap. Popular fishing YouTuber Flair demonstrated the method on his own YouTube channel, and the video got over 1 million views. That was the 10 most surprising fishing methods. Thanks so much for hanging out with the Supreme. What was your favorite method on today's list? Do you have any other secrets you can share with us? Let us know down in the comments. You've been watching The Supreme. We'll see you next time.